Everybody. Um, Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to members of the KMPA. First, Mr. Ramu for, I guess, suggesting my name and giving me this opportunity. And then for members of the KMPA for the invitation, wonderful hospitality. It's certainly a great opportunity for me to be in front of such a big group. And I hope that my hope is that over the next 40 minutes, I'll be able to share a few things from my side, and I hope to be able to learn a few things based on the interaction that I hope to be having with you. It is certainly the way the welcome, everything has been here, very much in line with Kerala saying God's own country. It's been like Atiti Devo Bhava. Thank you all very much for that. And when they told me that the topic is print and beyond, it's about technology, there is very little I could offer on that subject. So I thought I'll take a different tack. I've taken the permission of the KMPA team, and I hope you all will try to join me in this experience over the next 40 minutes. It's something new that I personally am trying. Let's see how it goes. So I represent this company called Sai Packaging. We have operations in Delhi and Bangalore. I'm based out of Bangalore. And I'll start off by sharing Acharya Devo Bhava. Who are the influences for me? A lot of members from the Indian Armed Forces. I listen to a lot of them on YouTube. Have invited some of them for conversations to Sai, the gurus of quality, Demings. I worked at these companies. A lot of people there have influenced my thinking. International Paper, one of the largest paper companies in the world. I used to work in production and shifts. I used to work in projects, free markets, consulting, etc. to my customers, suppliers of Sai Packaging, and heavily influenced by what the Tata Group does. It's a very amazing mission, what they write. It's the only company, they say, that actually captures how much are they actually giving back to society. If you look at the Tata Group's website, it is something very, very unique. And my inspiration is Dr. Abdul Kalam. Very few of us know his full name, so I'll take this opportunity to share his full name with all of you. It is Dr. Abul Pakir Jainul Abdeen Abdul Kalam. We all know it as APJ. Many times we go to a place, we read it as MG Road. We don't even realize it's Mahatma Gandhi Road. And these are stalwarts who deserve to be called by their full name, I feel. So I've spent some time in manufacturing, especially in India, a little bit in the US, consulting, sales, and all that. Okay. I'll use this. Maybe. And I've been a student of packaging ever since I joined my father-in-law's company, Sai Packaging. It's about 17 plus years and counting. And been a student of leadership ever since I joined work, which is more than 20, I don't know, since 2000, so 24 years and counting. So I'd request all of you to go to this website called menti.com on your mobile phones. And if you enter this code 1830319, you'll get a question. The Indian packaging industry, profitability versus rest of the world. There are about 4 choices. If you could give your choice, you won't be able to see it on the screen because it's not connected to my computer, but I'll see it on my mobile. I'll be able to tell you what the vote of the audience is. So it's menti.com, what you see there, and the code is 1830319. Got one in, one vote, okay. There should be at least 50. 1 8303119. 4 votes, 5 votes so far. Okay, picking up. It's about 15. I see about 50 people here. Maybe more, 100 maybe. Okay, we are at about 40 votes. 20, 30, 40, 40. Only the first question, Indian packaging industry versus rest of the world. Only that, please. It's not allowing. I'll come to that. It's a measure of profitability. It is profitability. ROC is profitability. So 20, 40, 50, 53. Okay. So the options were India packaging industry. And when I say packaging industry, I'm including all types of packaging. It could be labels, it could be cartons, it could be flexible packaging, it could be rigid, it could be corrugated. At least these are the 5. It could be glass also. Fine. That comes under rigids. The choice is India's packaging industry profitability. Now, ROCE is return on capital employed. It's a measure of profitability. Is 3 times that of rest of the world. That's one of the choices. I have 11 votes for that. India is 2x, twice the profitability. I have 16 votes for that. India is on par with the rest of the world. I have 25 votes for that. India is far below other regions. I have about 30 votes for that. That is the right answer. India is far below the profitability in the packaging space compared to any other region in the world. When I say any other region, I don't mean the Western Europe and US and Japan, which we all think of as developed markets, or Singapore. You take Indonesia, you take Pakistan, you take Sri Lanka, you take Bangladesh. You would find that the print entrepreneurs there, the print industry there, in terms of return on capital, is far, far higher. You would find them upgrading their machines at a far more frequent pace than what the print fraternity in India upgrades their machines. When I say machines, I mean to new machines. The rate of investment in new technology will be far higher there. The returns are far more. And the surprising part for me was, I thought being in cartons and labels, this is a problem only for me. But no, it's a problem for the Amcors of the world, who are one of the world's largest in flexible packaging. It's a problem for the Constantias of the world's top 3 in flexible packaging. It is very strange why this is happening only in India. It is very hard for this ratio return to change in the short or the medium term. This is life in India for print entrepreneurs. You have to accept it, and therefore you have to see how to survive within this reality. You're not going to be able to change that. Okay. These are some of the concerns that are raised by the promoter owner of a packaging firm. I'm using packaging as a proxy because that's been my personal experience. Hey, I don't have scale, man. The big guys are really hitting me on price. The power costs are too high. Government of Karnataka jacked up the power costs. You don't get reliable power. All your machines need UPS. If you don't have UPS, you're going to get a quality error. And with the quality error, it's going to go to your customer. Logistics costs are very high. My big brand owners sometimes ask for just in time. They're not willing to pay for it. Profits are too low. Working hours are too long. The next generation is not really interested in fighting this battle. Have you all faced some of these problems or not? Are they looking like they're from Iceland and not from India? Machines are very expensive, and on top of it, USD and Euro rates are high. We buy in euros, we earn in rupees. Not a favorable equation. There are no machine manufacturers who can help you, at least for a packaging firm for labels and cartons. All our machines are coming from a Gallus, a Heidelberg, a KBA, a Bobst. Very expensive. Now, on top of all these challenges, we are expected to show ideas on sustainability. Big challenges of the world. Sustainability, ma'am from the IS and Mr. MD, Divya ma'am, she said digital printing. And the gentlemen from digital printing know how expensive it is to run that. It's very hard. But sustainability, we are asked to give ideas. I have customers saying, we have a global mandate on sustainability, but I don't want the cost to change. Anti-counterfeit. In India, they say it's a problem, but again, the solutions of Europe and US will not work here. Frugal innovation, very nice name. I don't know what it means. Drastic innovation. These are all terms that are used in business schools. Be flexible, Arvind, to align with my demand. You know, our market is very, very, it's changing very fast. You guys cannot be so rigid. Sir, this will take a little bit extra cost here and there. No. Cost cannot change. So you are challenged on one side with a very low profitability, return on capital. On the other side, the print industry can be a great answer to the employment problem that we talk about in India for the unskilled or semi-skilled. It can be part of the solution. We are expected to be a part of sustainable ideas, cost-effective ideas, but where do you get the human capital to think of these ideas? If you don't get fresh thinking into the company, if you're not able to attract talent, how will you talk to them? How will you engage with these brand owners? Where do you create these ideas from? Can it come only from the MDs and the CEO sitting here? It's very tough. And in this regard, the fact that KMPA is organizing such a beautiful event, despite being in the print and packaging industry, which is a 24/7 job, in itself is a wonder for me. So, what do I talk about? Was what I was struggling with. Then I said, I don't know anything about technology. So these are 4 topics which I have some experience in over the 17 plus years I have been part of my in-laws packaging firm. What is the journey of seeking a private equity investment and how do you work with them? So we have private equity investments. We have external board members. It has allowed us take a certain path in our journey. So that is one question that I can talk a little bit about. Is zero repeat defects possible in our industry? So quality is my passion. I can talk a little bit about that. Is motivation possible? We're talking about human capital. We're talking about how difficult it is to hire in the print industry. We're talking about challenges of sustainability. So what is some lessons from that? And the final point is this industry viable for the next generation? Can we bring some system level thinking into this? So once again, I request you to go to menti.com. Give me your votes. Whatever you choose is what I will spend the next 20 minutes sharing some thoughts in the format of a conversation. I don't have slides, I promise you. It's not going to be death by PowerPoint. I really have trigger points, questions to engage in a conversation. You can ask me any question on that topic that we choose. From my experience, what I can share, I would love to, with the hope that when we walk away today, I have learned something from this discussion that I want to try, at least one thing. And each of you would try at least one thing. So that's my hope. I got about few words, okay? Oh, geez. The topic that I'm least prepared for is getting the maximum number of votes. Next gen, topic number 4, has taken 30 and counting. Quality is at 18. Private equity is at 11. Leadership is at 7. Yes, sir? I don't know if it allows you. I don't have the access to that, what you have. I'm only seeing what you all are putting in. No, next gen is 40. I have to talk about what the audience wants. It's not my preference. I've set the ball rolling. I have to walk down this path now. Okay, gentlemen, ladies, it's next gen. Okay. How to bring system level thinking into this? Fine. It's 40 votes. At 20 votes, it's on quality. At 10 votes, it's on investment, private equity. Right about that, it's about leadership journey. So, okay, it's not this. It is not this. It is not this. It is not this. You asked for this. This is what you asked for. So, okay, let me see. Yeah. Is the industry viable for next generation? Is there a systems thinking that is possible to answer this question? Is that what you all are asking for? The people who said yes? Show of hands, please. 40 people said yes for this. Okay. I'll need somebody to help me on time, please. 10 minutes before. Stop time. Yeah. Why does your company exist in the market versus competition? Mr. Rajiv Bajaj of Bajaj Auto, I treat him as Dronacharya and Ekalavya. Never met him, tried to write to him a few times, never responded. But I read a lot, I listen a lot to him. So he says it's not what you do, it's what your competition allows you to do. Okay? Many times we say this is the value we bring to the market, this is what our unique points is. But we don't go deep enough to really say, why am I different than that person? It's not easy. Now, why does your company exist in the market? So, I can think of 3 reasons. I have not been able to think of a 4th reason. So, if I can hear somebody from the audience and say, no, there is a 4th reason, I would love to hear that. We either exist in the market because my company is far, far more innovative. Not marginally more innovative, far, far more innovative than the majority of the competition. You have to be very honest in this. Are you really far, far more innovative? Do you have evidence? Does a random customer say those words about you? One reason why you may be getting a job. Second reason, I am the lowest cost producer. I have the scale. I am there in multiple places in the country. So for all the big brand owners, I serve you wherever you want me to. And I have economies of scale. I buy cheaper. I am the cheapest for you, customer. Hard. 1 and 2, I mean, we can be a jack of all trades. Of Sai in some ways is, but there is an area where Sai lands more heavily than others. So bucket number 1 is on innovation. Bucket number 2 is on scale and cost. Bucket number 3 is on supply chain excellence. So that's your quality, that's your OTIF, supply assurance. Hey, I'm far, far better than the competition. I'm not marginally better. Now, if you say I deliver on time, you should be able to answer the question, yesterday, what was your OTIF score for your dispatches? Are you better than before over the last 3 weeks? Now, if you're not able to answer the question, we may feel that we are better off than competition, but we don't have data to anchor that feeling as either a truth or a feeling, a fact or a feeling. And if the customer doesn't feel it, you don't have that advantage. Now, for Sai Packaging, the way the ship was already there when I joined. We kind of anchored on that side. Certainly, we do a little bit of innovation for a few customers. Certainly, some people may say we have some scale, but the vast majority will say we are better on supply chain than we are on the other two. Now, if that is why we exist in the market, that becomes our strength. And I'll quote who should be a Bharat Ratna, Azim Premji over here. He said, far too much time we spend worrying about our weakness. Forget about it. Unless it is that one weakness that is stopping your organization, focus on your strengths. So if supply chain excellence is the strength for Sai should be spending a lot of time on building that strength. Rather than saying, innovation is my weakness, I'm going to commit a large amount of time and money and energy on innovation. Certainly we do innovation, please don't get me wrong, in a few pockets. Do I do it for 80% of my sales? No, we don't. 80% of our sales, are we the lowest cost producer? No. But for 80% of our sales, am I fighting for that supply chain advantage excellence? Yes. So it starts with understanding that at a much deeper way. Because when you say next gen, by definition, you have a going concern. It has some strengths, it has some weaknesses. You are in the middle of some market, some competition. But putting pen on paper and going deep to answer this question, I believe, in my humble opinion, is the starting point. So I don't know of a fourth. Can you all think of a fourth bucket apart from innovation, cost via scale? I mean, you cannot have cost excellence if you don't have scale. At least I don't know how to have it. Parsons has it. TCPL has it. ITC has it in my industry. Scanum has it in labels. They buy far more inks, far more paper, far more machines than what Sai does. So can any of you please help me think of a fourth bucket when you try to slot your company? I'm sorry? Commitment to what? Commitment to service cost excellence, to be the lowest cost producer, commitment to add value to the customers, to be the most innovative producer, commitment to improve processes, to be the best supply chain partner for your customer. Commitment to what? I'm sorry, sir, not possible. I cannot be a Pragati and a Parsons and a Scanum. Very hard. I don't know of any company that's managed all three. Again, Rajiv Bajaj will say, Mr. Vijay Mallya wanted to be an airline and beer and other things. That is why it failed. If he had stuck to beer, which was doing well, he wouldn't have gotten into the problems that he got into. And I can tell you, as a customer of UB, as a supplier of UB, he had amazing team members. They swore by him. Fantastic talent on the beer side of the business and on the liquor side of the business, which got sold to Diageo, beer side got sold to Heineken. So it is not possible to build excellence on all those three pillars. You have to choose. A Jaguar Land Rover cannot make a Maruti Suzuki, an Alto, not possible. Is there a fourth bucket that I am missing? Please, I'm asking with a genuine humility here, because I've spent some time thinking about this, and I kind of reached this dead end. So I thought I'll use this opportunity to engage in this conversation with you all. Anything? Is there a fourth bucket?
It's a next gen. No? Next gen doesn't find this particular industry very interesting. And so you don't get talent as well in the industry. The industry has a very less profitability. Industry is 250,000 printers, right? So it's a SME kind of an industry. The scale, it would be better that we have 2,500 companies rather than 250,000 companies driving the entire business. And they would be there on the stock market, they would have scale, they would have the right talent. In Bangalore is full of talent, but it's very difficult to get the talent from the printing industry. So perhaps, the fourth bucket could be how we can attract the next gen. If they come in, perhaps they will come out with some new innovations, new solutions to take this industry forward.
Thank you for that comment, sir. A big risk we have is in confusing cause and effect. The next gen will not join because there is issues, unless we find a solution to that, it's very hard to expect them to join. But first assessment is, why do you exist? Now at Sai, for Himalaya, we serve around 5,000 SKUs. So there's a lot of complexity we serve there. But there will be 5 SKUs where I have to fight an ITC or a Parkinson's on price. Ridiculous price. There, my rest 4,995 SKUs don't come to help me at all. I can complain, I can crib, I can do all those things, but the reality is that. So, because we are a supply chain company, we are not the lowest cost producer. We don't push the volumes that a Parkinson's or an ITC does. I won't lose the customer. I may lose a few SKUs. I won't lose the customer because there is something we have done in terms of supply chain integration. Same with the UB group. But on some SKUs, I'll get hit. Because I'm there. Now, when I choose to be on that side, I am not spending enough time. I cannot spend enough time on building an innovation that would cover, say, 30%, 50%, 70% of my sale. Because all my energy is going towards the 80% third bucket. I won't have time for that. My team will not have time for that. When I hire people, I am looking at hiring somebody who can serve that part better. Even if I hire a great designer, that person, he or she will feel like a fish out of water. Because that's not the regular conversation that's happening inside the organization. So, to your point, sir, very respectfully, your culture of the organization for each of those 3 pillars will be different. Your behaviors will be different, your conversations will be different, your systems will be different, your measurements will be different. Attitude is important for all 3 pillars. We are not a technology business, we are a people business. I could have served the company, I could have saved one of my customers a line stop 2 weeks back. But yesterday, the line stop that they had because of me has dented my brand image because they've forgotten what happened 2 weeks back. It's a people business. Whether you are on the supply chain excellence side, whether you are on the innovation side, whether you are on the cost-effective service side, it is a people business. Attitude is extremely important. But what that attitude is will be different. An innovator company will try to mold their people in a different way.
So I would like to add,
Very true. Absolutely. Yes, it is. Absolutely. People should support the leadership for achieving the aim of the company, right?
Yes, yes.
And when I talk to my, no, I can't talk to my guru, Dr. Edward Demings, but if I try to have a mental conversation with Edward Demings, in the organizational chart, Edward Demings inverts it. He says you have customers, your organization, and suppliers. This is the system. So he inverts the organizational chart and he says, you tell me, management, what are you doing to earn the trust of your people? That is the question Edward Demings asks. Because Edward Demings says 85% of the problems in a company are caused by management, not by the next level and their next level. It could be a policy constraint, it could be ego, it could be anything. So the management has to first fix ourselves, myself.
I would like to add one more point, customer satisfaction.
Very important in all three buckets. Whether you're an innovator, whether you're a cost-based leader, or whether you're a supply chain excellence thing. Customer satisfaction, without that there is no business. So once you do that analysis, you have to be honest with yourself, and maybe the answer is, man, I'm a jack of all trades. I'm neither very strong here, nor am I very strong here, nor am I very strong in the middle place. Then you ask the question, where is the best chance for me to stand out? Maybe that's the question that it leads you to. Then you look at your top management, which is your next generation. When I say top management, I don't mean professionals. In this case, I mean the next gen. Only after that, you have to look at the senior leadership team and the next level after that. But what is the gap? Now that you have said, hey, this is the market, this is what I want to pursue, the next gen, are they in line with, do they have the skills to help in that? Because the base is already there. If you say, I want to pivot and do something entirely different, go from being an e-commerce, Flipkart, to PhonePe, fintech, it's hard. It's very hard. Why Amazon, despite all its strength, money is not a problem for Amazon. Talent is not a problem for Amazon. Correct? In India, talent is not a problem for Amazon, money is not a problem for Amazon. But they couldn't succeed in fashion like the way Myntra did. They couldn't. They put money, they put talent, not working out. Myntra is far, far higher in GMV, gross merchandise value, than Amazon when it comes to fashion. So it is not, what that says is that just by putting money and talent, doesn't mean you will be having a successful pivot. It's risky to assume that. It is very risky to assume that. So that's when your next gen and you kind of go deeper and deeper and say, man, where do you want to take this? But you need one anchoring question to help you in the discussion. Otherwise, it's like the clear blue sky. It's like space, infinite. So then you get deeper and deeper into skills, again of the next gen. You get into the motivations of the next gen. And then comes the big question. Does the next gen, all this is good, I have a business, I can take it forward. Do I have the ambition? Do I really, really have the ambition that my father or mother do? To give you an example, my father-in-law, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, chairman of Sai, started the company when he was 45 with 2 young daughters. I am married to his first daughter. I am 50. I cannot imagine myself 5 years back trying to start a company. I don't have that ambition. He had it. Huge respect. So the other mistake that happens is this. So the next gen comes in. Say you do all this, the next gen comes in. So when I joined Sai was top line of around 30 or 35 crores, 2006, late 2006. March 2007, we were probably 30 crores. Last year, we finished at 260 odd crores. Never should the next gen make the mistake of thinking, hey, I have done better. Please. It's very, very hard to start from scratch. It is far easier to build on a platform that has been given. Please treat it with utmost humility and respect. Whether you are in second, third, fourth generation, it doesn't matter. What the first generation did, if you genuinely ask yourself, can you do that as a first generation in an independent business, and you're able to answer your conscience and say, yes, fair enough. I couldn't. The skills are different. I agree to that. The skills, what it takes to start up, and the skills, what it takes to develop it, put systems, do this, do that, build customer trust, may be different. But let this magnitude of this change not fool ourselves into thinking that we have done something better than the previous gen. I'm sorry, at least I don't agree with that. So this requires an honest assessment of the ambition of the next gen. I don't think we spend enough time probing that deep enough. We, as parents, we may take it for granted. As children, they may take it for granted. It's not good for the future. It's really not good for the future. Now, if you have the ambition, you've done this, it's a tough industry. Still, you can shine in a tough industry. No problems. It is possible. I believe it should be possible. But if you have not answered the questions, and you're somewhere in the middle, the organization is kind of confused, but not accepting that it is confused, it will lead to family challenges. It will lead to dissatisfaction. Many times it's helpful to have an external member whom you trust to help you facilitate this process of discussion and discovery. It's a process of discovery. Sometimes the next gen would not like to even hear that if the father or the mother has brought in an external party. They may not. They'll say, that's your chain of trust. My chain of trust is something else. How do you handle that conflict? Do we, as the previous gen, have the comfort? Do we have the courage to say, okay, let's look through this path. Let us also explore your chain of trust and your path. Then we have more information to make a decision. Do we have the courage to do that? Do we take the time to do that? So I'll give you a story of Autojohn Packaging. I don't know how I'm doing on time. So Autojohn is a French company. They're about €1 billion or more right now. The owner of the company is a guy by the name Jean Autojohn. They started off in France. Now they are very, very big all over Europe. They have acquired in South Korea. They have acquired companies, and they've grown only by acquisition. His children are not in the business. Family is very wealthy because the business is done well. He has made, 35, 40 acquisitions. And in every acquisition, his strength has been to let the promoters of that company continue. Even if that next gen of that company didn't come in, it was okay. But then there were professionals in that company. He has managed this beautifully to grow from what, again, he also had to grow from zero. He also had to start from zero. He is at €1 billion plus. Handling diverse cultures like Korea. In Europe itself, we know the cultures are quite diverse, right? France, You talk to a German guy, he will not say good things about the French. French will not say good things about German, Spanish. But they do that. They've been very successful. He knows his is in the innovation side. He will not have long runs, but he will do a lot of innovation. When I was able to study him, he had answered that question, which pillar I am in, which bucket I am in. If I look at CCL labels, on the label side, they started off small. Today, I don't know how many factories they run. They've acquired so many companies. In India, the acquisition didn't work out, but in every other geography, they've had very successful acquisitions where they've let the acquired promoter continue. They've achieved scale. That company, to your point, sir, has a separate division for innovation, separate thing. So they do both. They do all three. They have supply chain excellence, they have this, but not in the same factory. The factory that is very innovative will be different than a factory that is very, very cost effective. They've segregated it like that. It is not mixing, from my study at least. Very hard to achieve. They're the largest label company in the world. All for labels. So they also trying to do a similar thing. How am I doing on time? I'm almost at the end. 5 minutes more. So since this topic came up as the topic of discussion, I was forced to choose this. I was least prepared for this. So this is called a systems view by Dr. Demings. It was my scribbles from paper.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, how do we convince the first generation, very successful first generation people, when I get inside the thing, how do we convince them that it is equally important? It is equally important to stay updated with the current trends and technology.
How do I convince the previous generation to stay updated with trends in technology?
Yeah.
Is that your question, ma'am?
Yes. Is it I feel like it's equally important to be currently updated with the technology.
Can you give me a deeper example, ma'am? A more specific example?
I mean, with the digital marketing and AI, everything has intervened. But yeah, the first generation is really successful with all due respect. But sometimes I feel like it is equally important to be updated with the technology to keep things moving forward.
Ma'am, for me, when I face a problem like this, right, okay, I start by putting pen on paper to say, what is bringing us success today? And what is it that we are trying to build or get success using digital marketing or whatever as a tool? Digital marketing is at the end of the day a tool, but it's a tool to achieve what? That answering for what, if you spend time on debating, discussing, researching that question with a white sheet of paper, once you answer that question, the tool will fall in place, is my humble opinion. We focus on the tool, including me, rather than on the cause. The tool is the effect. What is the cause? What is the problem I'm really trying to solve? Is it to use this digital marketing as a tool? No. I'm trying to solve something for the business, for the customer. What is that problem that is not getting solved today? Can we put pen on paper on that? So I don't have an answer, but I've given a question. But that would be my approach, to answer that question first. It should lead us to the next step. So Dr. Edward Demings, so in the world there are only two systems, two recognized awards, globally recognized awards of quality that I've come across, once again. One is called the Malcolm Bridge National Quality Award, given in the US, recognized world over. and the second one is called the Demings Award, given in Japan. The strange thing here is that Japan is giving an award on the Dr. Edward Demings, who is an American. So the story behind this guy is that after the Second World War, this guy was a PhD in statistics in the US. America was sending people to Japan to help them reconstruct. So they sent Dr. Edward Demings. And he was a student of a statistician called Walter Shewhart. So whatever you hear about Six Sigma and all that started at Walter Shewhart's time. He was a student of Walter Shewhart. And he went to Japan, Taiichi Ohno, Toyota was there, and they all became the gurus of quality. When it says quality, it is not about just product quality, it's about organizational quality. And then he came up with some principles of management, not of quality management system, but of management, that he says, man, you have to treat it like a system. Don't treat it like Excel 75 machine. It is part of a system. How are you defining that system? You have to understand variation. If you go and fight every single variation, you will not make any improvement. Understand what is the stability level of your system through statistical analysis. So it's called an X-bar chart. Not difficult. Well, I can't say that. I have struggled to implement it at Sai. The chart itself is easy, but getting people to want to do it has been a challenge for me. I have only one person who's willing to do it and who's willing to discuss with me in a company of 600 people. Theory of knowledge. This I found very interesting because, can I take 5 more minutes? Is it okay with you all? So, theory of knowledge is very interesting. So, when I joined Sai Packaging 17 plus years back, I had people who have grown up in printing whom I was interfacing. So they all looked at me and said, what the hell does this guy know, man? He has come from the US, guy has not even worked in India. What does this guy know? So we went through press standardization exercise, supported by Mr. Hari Babu. Sir was there from Heidelberg at that time, and Satish Naik and all was there. That is the first time I heard Hari Babu told me from Heidelberg, ex-Heidelberg, that printing is mathematics. Because until then, everybody was telling me, this guy is a better operator, this guy will not do it, that guy. It was treated like a Picasso painting. I said, man, how will the business run like this, man? If everybody does it differently, if everybody operator is so critical, then he should be the CEO, no? Why are somebody else the CEO? So then, first time somebody told me, sir, printing is mathematics. Then Edward Deming says, man, if you're really so experienced, if you're genuinely so experienced, can you predict the performance of your system? You make a change on the system, your system will react like this. Can you predict it? If you can predict it, you are experienced. Your experience is adding value. It is the wisdom of experience. Otherwise, it is the arrogance of experience. I have 25 years experience. You have to take what I'm saying. Why? So a lot of us do blind experimentation. Now, Demings teaches us how to design the right experiments so that you don't do blind experimentation. My 17 years, 99% of experiments done at Sai Packaging before Deming's thinking came were blind experiments. Still happens. Root cause analysis. I look at it and say, man, what the hell, man? What is this? If you do a root cause analysis, you'll say, this is my root cause. Yes. If you dial up your root cause, your error should increase. If you dial down your root cause, your error should reduce. If you cannot prove that, your root cause is wrong. It's not easy to achieve that level of understanding. So that's the theory of knowledge and psychology of people. He hates performance reviews, he hates KPIs as a way to reward people because it's against teamwork. Genuinely, I find this, most of the time, my time in serving a customer goes in solving some interfunctional issues they have at the customer rather than genuine value addition. then we are asked to give sustainable ideas, cost-effective ideas, anti-counterfeit ideas. Where is the time for all that? I don't know. So these are the paradoxes that I grapple with. I've taken a lot of your time. Thank you for your patience. Gratitude to Ramu sir, KMPA, all of you, to giving me a chance to come here and share some thoughts. I have nothing more to say. I am not a prophet, sir. Neither am I a saint. Thank you, sir.
What I need from you is whether the next generation, if the present scenario continues, everything is negative as far as the printing industry is concerned. The innovation, the price cost of the product being provided by your competitor, and moreover, the entire scenario that I heard from you seemed to be on the negative side. But
okay, I'm sorry about that.
just a minute, let me just finish. I have a very positive note to it as well, and that is 17 years back you came back from US with all the experience that you had, joined Sai. From 35 you brought it to 260.
I didn't, sir. I was part of
the entire team. They brought it to 260. All the guys sitting here will also get someone like you, a son, a daughter, a son-in-law or whoever, to carry the flame forward. And that's the positive note I have. Thank you so much, Arvind.
Sir, I'll just add, try.
Please go ahead.
I cannot
Please
answer. I'm not a prophet or a saint. But if what I can genuinely say as a student of quality, as a student of Dr. Demings, is that if you do that analysis that I have done, it will lead you to the answer, and even in a competitive industry, that company can be wildly successful, provided the right questions are asked, not otherwise. Not otherwise.